Alrighty guys, we are going to be doing a Gold 3 VOD today on Haven, playing Reyna. First things first, for pistol round buys, why would you get a request? Okay, you just wanted he just wanted the skin. I see. Alright, for pistol round buys, you pretty much always want for Reyna to either go 1 flash or 2 heals. 2 heals is fine. It's really difficult to get both heals off most of the time, so I usually go for a flash on defense, mostly because you want to be able to use that to help your teammates. On attack, I like to go 2 heals though. Alright, okay, so there's a few issues with the play currently. Now, the main issue right here is that you're putting yourself in a position where you can't escape. So if you cross to the left here and you go and play behind this box, it's not the worst play, but you don't have a flash to re-peek it. They know you're there. They can use utility like Sova, and Viper and Sage can easily use utility to force you into a bad duel. So what you're doing is you're putting yourself in a one-off position where you force yourself to get a kill and to use your dismiss to get out, instead of just playing on this side on the wall here and waiting for the enemies to peek, then shooting them and then immediately falling back. That's the correct play here. So if you push yourself over into this left corner here, sure, you can cross back like you did here, but you're crossing in front of a bunch of people. So if they're faster and if the enemies here, are smarter, they're pushing you hard here, and you shouldn't be able to, escape without taking at least a little bit of damage. And your teammate dies in short here. Okay, so you go back into CT. This is not the worst play, not the most amazing play. So a lot of the times whenever, the enemies are rushing up onto site, you kind of want to be fighting them as they push up. So let's go all the way back here. So your teammate dies in short and you're still fighting in long. Now, what I would do instead of running all the way back to site is you go to this corner, you jiggle peek, and then you keep fighting them. You take a shot or two, but every time you fight, like every time you peek and you shoot them, you need to fall back afterwards to the next choke point. So after you fight here, then you fall back and then you either fight here or you fight on default. So then you go to default and you fight them long, and then afterwards you can run all the way back into CT. Essentially what you're doing is every time you fight them, they have to stop. And every single time that they stop, it gives your teammates more time to rotate to site. You're scared that you were going to get pushed in short? Yeah, that's fine. Normal. So here, you can see that Sage is in spawn, still watching your flank. You see somebody here. So whenever you're peeking heaven here, you can easily clear either close sight here and long, or one of the others. I like the way you peeked here. You're not exposing yourself fully. So right here, if you push up and let me clear that. So if you push yourself up here and you push to peek the jet, you're going to expose yourself into long, and that's where the enemies are. So that would likely have gotten you killed. And now you can see here that when you peek out to see the jet or to peek long, you can see that there's one guy here and then all of his teammates start pushing out, which is very bad for you because now you're in a 1v3, which is obviously not good. Now that you have 20 HP, hopefully your Sage has heal. Okay, there we go. That's good. So now that you have 2 people in heaven, most of the time I absolutely hate going multiple people in heaven. So if you're Reyna, I think that actually, first thing, if you're Omen, don't ever go heaven. You need to go here. But if you have 2 people in heaven, even as like Reyna, I would just go back into CT. I think retaking from heaven with flash characters is bad. Mostly because you have to jump down and you can sometimes take damage. It's just not the best way to retake. Alright, good round. Alright guys. I need this to stop, okay? I need this to stop. This is not allowed, okay? If you win pistol round, if the score line looks like this, you need to buy a Spectre and armor. Stop saving. And try to encourage your teammates to buy Spectres and armor and to stop saving. Alright, I want to talk about this peak because it's bad. So the reason this is a bad peak is because what you're doing is you're walking forward on this wall instead of peeking along and getting the information. So if your main goal is to push this, then you want to get the information of people being in there, because if they swing you here, then they're going to have a huge advantage on you. So you need to get the information that they're in the long cubby here and not let them swing out fast on you. Okay, so there's a few ways that I'd probably play this differently. Okay. Nice. So a lot of times, I mean, playing with your teammates good here. I like that you're playing with the Omen. So right here, when you're playing close and your teammate's watching the angle, you should be prepared to make a play. So for example, you can have your flash out here and you can get a flash right there as soon as they peek here. So good job, Mystic. So whenever your Omen is taking contact on this corner, then you should have a flash like ready to throw out and to play off your Omen here. So as soon as he takes contact, you throw your flash and then swing with it instead of just blindly swinging like that. And that would have likely saved you your armor. Now, I think that Reyna playing A site really isn't the best, but honestly, it's fine, I guess. Okay, we're going to keep ignoring that you're doing this. I don't know whether this is like a habit or something. All right, now that they're taking front sight here, so there's a few things that we should be talking about when you're retaking. First off, pull your gun out. Pull your gun out right here before you peek this, because if they can be in front sight, then you could be dead. One thing I want to talk about is you full spraying here. So if you manage to spray a full clip, so what you should be doing is you should save the last 5 to 10 bullets of your magazine here. And that's just mostly because if you get pushed, then you're going to need to not reload instead of, you know, fully reloading. Because if you're stuck in your reload animation, you're dead there. Don't re-peek while you're scanned by the dart. What? Man, you were still scanned. You were still fully radared right there. Another thing is, I haven't seen you use a flash this entire game. So that's a big issue. You haven't used a single flash, so let's look at times that we could use flash here. Alright, time number 1 is this orb going down. So I probably would have thrown a flash in and tried to peek with it for the initial peek. Now after that, let's just go over what I would have done here, honestly. So when you're looking to peek an angle, so if the enemies are pushing into a site, that's when you want to throw a flash to do your first peek. Then, once you get the information of the enemies either being on the site, that's when you can make your next play. Now, firstly, what I would have done here is I would have used the enemy smoke here after flashing and peeking the Sova. So what happens is, instead of reloading or spamming this guy, I would have pushed in and to the left here. So I would have pushed through the Reyna or through the Viper smoke here and tried to get myself into this corner. Now, the reason that I want to get in this corner is it's going to throw the enemies off guard, and it allows me to get an off angle onto anybody who's pushing into sight. So if I'm over here and I'm looking into sight, then I can shoot the enemies that are pushing into sight here, and then I can just dismiss out if I need to. Same with your ultimate here. So I would say that a really, really good play is, for example, since it's third round and you still have a Spectre, you need to go really, really deep with your ult, because it's so much easier to just run and gun with the Spectre in this close range scenario where you can just run in. It doesn't really depend on aim that much, Zapple. If you have a Spectre and the enemies are pushing into B site and you're a Reyna with her ultimate, it's really, really easy to get kills. So I would probably have used my ult there and tried to push them. Okay, you guys have had 2 people die immediately. Your Omen, who can only play Garage, is doing really well. So since the enemies, so let's just talk about what to do when 2 of your teammates die at the start of the round. Since 2 of your people have died immediately, you need to fill in the gaps. So if you notice, you guys are no longer playing this side of the map. That's an issue. So what should you do if your teammates are no longer playing C side? There are 2 real things you can do. You can go in group with Jet and play on B and hope that they don't hit C and then just play retake, or you can go and hide on C site and try and fight them there. Now at this point, again, you need to start taking information, finding out where they are. Unfortunately, or Yoru just blinded you. Now, let's talk about the flashes, because the flashes are a big problem. So this first flash here doesn't really do much. Doesn't actually blind anybody because it's not fully out holding middle. And then the second flash is, well, after this. So right here, you need to be thinking about how you can win this round. So after you get the kill on Viper, you should have immediately dismissed there. Then you can still grab the orb and heal yourself. Now, with your flash here, you flashed and then you waited till it was destroyed to peek. So the biggest issue is that you're peeking without your flash. So your goal should be to push with the flash, not to flash and then peek. Where did the Sage kill you from? Probably behind or something. That's not it. Not the move. Cut the VOD. Cut the VOD. That's not it. Alright, guys. Because the Guardian is the worst weapon in the game. Especially for your rank. There's an easy solution to this. Light armor. And Vandal or Phantom. You just buy light armor and Vandal or Phantom. Don't ever buy the Guardian. Never, ever, ever buy the Guardian. You always either buy heavy armor Spectre, or you didn't have enough for light armor Vandal. Alright, let's do some quick math. You had 3,100. You have 3,600. After abilities. So? Bitch, you don't even use your flashes anyways. It's more important to have light armor plus Vandal plus 1 Leer. Actually, I don't know if that leaves you with 1 Leer. But either way, nah, saving's not the play here. You always want to buy with your team. You should have just bought light armor, rifle, and 1 Leer or even no Leers. It's so much better. Like, let's see how this works. I just want to see if you can make this work. Okay. Oh, he's clean with the Eco Andy in here. Oh my gosh, good dismiss. Alright, so the dueling play there is completely fine. That's usually what you should be trying to do as Reyna, is duel people early, get a kill, and if you can get a kill, dismiss out. Okay. How do we peek this middle play? Okay, good. I actually want to talk about that real quick. So guys, anybody who's watching this VOD on YouTube or Twitch, watch how he peeks mid here. There's actually a little bit of a mistake here where he should be aiming at this corner the whole time before he pre-aims. Now, but watch how he does peek this first angle, which is good. So watch. So he peeks this first angle and he stops. and then he peeks the rest of the angles. So this is a good way to think about how to peek angles, is even if there's somebody here, I mean, even if it's just the last person, it's still good to practice peeking angles like that. All right, so there's no correct play here, but I would say, dude, come on! I just noticed something, guys. I want to VOD review this fucking Omen. He can't keep getting away with this! What are you doing? Okay, all you aspiring Omen players out there, don't fucking do that. What are you doing? What are you doing? Okay, regardless. So, if you see people in mid here on your map at the start of the round and you see nobody on A, that should be a good indicator that pushing A is like a good play. So what you can do is you want to push all the way up. So you hold shift all the way up into that corner. Now from there you can see whether they have a cipher. So the enemy team has a cipher. Now what I would do is I would push up into lobby here, check if there was a trip there. Now if there is a trip, then I would push either back out and just sit in this corner on top of wheelbarrow here, and then you can listen for information in their spawn, see if they rotate out. If they go to C, then you can just break the trip and push on the flank, because the enemy cipher doesn't actually have a brain because you're in gold. He won't tell his teammates that you broke the trip. And he may not even know that you broke the trip. Alright, running up to save your teammate in mid is perfect. You're a little late and your flash was a lot low. Alright, talk about repeaking. So, when you're repeaking, especially with your ult, you should flash. Always. Oh, nice. Nice spam. You seem very scared to fight. This flash was bad here because, for example, if this player here that you were fighting, this player right here, look at the sight lines here. This is the sight line that your enemy can see. So if you're flashing right here, that Sova can't actually see the flash there. This isn't flashing anybody. Well, it's because you're panicking and you're playing faster than your brain can work. So just slow it down. Yeah, I was about to say, what happens here when you go back towards A? There's somebody lurking up A, isn't there? Yeah, that'll happen. Alright, your team's broke, so you should probably just buy like a Vandal or something. Don't do it. Don't click on that fucking gun, Lax. Okay, so the Bulldog isn't the worst weapon, but it is the worst weapon at the same time. Okay, good peeking, good peeking. Alright, why is this bad? You see how he's kind of just moving here slowly? Now, there's a much better way to play this. So what you want to do is put yourself up on this angle. So hold this angle, but you go in, then out, then in, then out. You just want to go slowly. Just go in for like 1 second, then out for 1 second. And that will give you peeker's advantage on anybody who might be holding that. Not jiggle peek. I can show in a custom game what I mean, but not jiggle peek. You see this? Kind of like this. So all you're doing is pre-aiming the angle, you peek, and then you go back. And then you peek, and then you go back. Alright, kind of like this. So for this angle in B main here, I peek it, check everything, fall back so that I'm not on the angle anymore, pre-aim, peek everything, fall back so I'm not on the angle anymore. It's very simple. It's just this maneuver over and over. You peek, then you fall back so that you're not holding the angle, and then you peek again. It's not about jiggle peeking it, it's about peeking it, checking it, and then falling off the angle, and then re-peeking it. So one thing about the Phantom in long here, so if you're holding a long with, what the fuck is that dart? That guy spent 6 hours in a custom game just to find out that dart, just for it not to actually work. So the Phantom in long A here is fine to use, but you need to be taking closer duels. So again, fighting the enemies and then falling back is the strongest way to use the Phantom, where you can pull them into a shorter angle so that you can get the one-tap headshot on them. Now right here, since your Sage is already pushed up A short, it should be very easy for you to just rotate over to B and to fight with your Yoru here. Now that you have the bomb down on B, you need to get into a more secure position. You can't just sit here in the middle. Like, just sitting, even though there's a smoke here, you sitting in the open is extremely scary. Don't line up. If you find yourself lining up with it... Alright, so right here, you have no cover, right? There is an orb there, you're reloading, there's a dart behind you. This is an immediate dismiss. This is a situation where there's too much shit going on. Alright, let's talk about the enemy's tendencies now. So, the only person you've ever seen lurk and push A flank is Sage. So now that she's dead, you should be okay to push up on the A flank. So every time you see the Sage and or Sova dead, you should be okay to push up on the flank. So that is just learning about enemies' tendencies. Now, you need to stop re-peeking without your flash and while you're tagged by the recon bolt. Because you do this way too often. This is the second time you peeked while you've been darted. So every single round this game, every single round, you have pushed, or you have gone A, right? Now, just now, I saw 5 enemies. So a lot of the times in my Radiant games, you guys may not notice this, but what happens is I will, like, whenever I see people on the map, so for example, whenever I see anybody on the map, like and they're pushing A or something, I call numbers. Instead of saying like their names, I say like 4, 3, 5, things like that. And that tells me that if I see 5 people on this side of the map, that I can do anything I want on the other side of the map. So that's a really easy way. So like, for example, right now, you see 2, there's 2 in long, 3 with the Sova drone. So you know 3 are long. So there's 4 people left on there, 4 long. That means that all of their team is right here, and that you guys own all of this. So what do we do this? What do we do with this? The first correct play is to push with our Sage here and fight with her. That is the first and pretty much only correct play. I mean, you can rotate like you're doing now to help your teammates on site. Okay, why are you walking? Why are you walking here when your teammates are using utility to fight? Alright, this is a big issue. Mainly because you guys are like pushing up and you don't really have a plan. So you don't need to push out here. Look, so the way this is working is Sage is going deep. She's getting an off angle here. Then your Yoru is holding this with an op. So you need to figure out how you can help. So after you throw your first flash, you don't want to get in front of Yoru, so you should throw another flash here. That would help you here. That would help you a lot here. But instead, you kind of go into the panic spray there, and you're unable to clean up the kills. And you guys probably lose this round. So double flashing in that situation is completely fine. Okay. 2 things about this. Your Sheriff does not one-shot kill from here. Your Sheriff does one-shot kill from here. So if you hold this angle, instead of holding that angle, you can get the one shot with the Sheriff. That's just a little tip. If every single round you do the same exact things, Lax, if every single round like you're doing the same thing and they notice that, It's super, super easy to outplay that. So you need to switch up what you're doing every single round and make sure that the enemies aren't able to outplay your play, because it's going to happen. It's going to happen a lot more as you go up the ranks. You switch with Omen on the last round. All right, I guess. Not awful. At least you're switching it up. So I think your issue on Haven defense with Reyna is that you're too afraid to push the flank. And a lot of the times pushing the flank is the easiest way to win. All right, I see a big problem already. I see 4 people on A site, and I see no enemies on A site. So that's one big issue right now. You guys are over-rotating very, very hard right here. You should never really over-rotate unless you get confirmation of multiple enemies pushing onto the site. Okay. Do not play this close to the wall. I don't think it's a smart play to peek this wall either. But you see how you guys all rotated to A and then they just went to C and they have the site for free and some picks because you guys were over-rotated. You should always be checking your minimap for information on whether you should rotate. Nice job. All right, all right. My eyes. Let me check. I just want to see something. I don't know if that's the right play. I don't know if standing still here is the correct play. I don't feel like it is. I feel like moving out into sight and letting your Omen come with you might have been the better play, but you did get the kill. I don't have an answer for that. Because personally, I hate when people stop. If they're the first one in and they stop to fight somebody and I run into them and then I end up getting like collated, that's a big issue. But you guys didn't get collated and you guys didn't lose because of that play. So I wouldn't say it's the worst. I do think you probably should have pushed out there on the site and just ignored the Sova backsite and just calmed it. All right, we're on an eco round, running up onto B site. What can we do here? Get the plant. All right, let's talk about this. Look, you guys just got 2 kills. 2 of the enemies have died. Do not fight anymore. 3 of the enemies have died. I know you don't have a gun here, but do not fight. Absolutely do not fight. There is no reason for you to peek this guy. Absolutely no reason for you to peek this guy. In this situation, when you're in a 5v2, all you need to do is play your life. If you guys lose this round, holy shit. It was a 5v2 and you guys almost lost. That is a big problem. Yeah. So in that situation, even if you only have a classic, especially on an eco round, if your teammates get multiple kills, you need to absolutely play your life over everything. Yeah, 5v2s are the hardest to win because you and your teammates don't play correctly. All right, holding the operator. I wouldn't say it's the best play, but it's not the best play at all. You should have ran up into Cubby here. So how can we beat the operator instead of wide swinging him? So what you do instead of wide swing, is that not an operator? Or is that a marshal? Oh, it's a marshal. Okay. All right, if it's a marshal, then that's fine. To hold him there. Heal. Healing is more important than reloading. Quick tip. Healing is more important than reloading at 14 bullets left. If you have 14 bullets left, that's 14 kills you can get. Stop reloading early. Alright, so look at the map right now on your attack. If you guys are stuffed on C, so for example if this Viper wall is here and you guys are scared of going C now, and you look at the map right now, you're allowing all of the A players to push up and do whatever they want, and the B players in mid to 1v1 your jet here. So this is an issue that you guys really aren't sure what site you're going to take, and right now you're not sure what site you're going to take, Lax. So instead of pushing with your team at the start there and doing like 3 or 4 people grouped up, you should be holding a kind of a default and just holding the angles for the enemies to push up. Because right now, you've been flanked once so far, and these guys are probably going to continue doing it. Plan to fake C? Alright, well if you're planning on faking C, and all you have to do... Alright, to fake C site, then all you have to do is Reyna is throw a flash, and then as soon as you see that Viper wall, that should tell you that they have no info, right? So after you throw your flash here, you need to run back towards A site and then set up for the A take, right? Now, that would have, stopped your Yoru from dying here, and that would have helped you a lot more than you just sitting along with your teammates. So faking isn't just, throwing your util and then staying there. You need to throw your util and then immediately rotate back based on the information that the enemies can gather. So this is a really important information game, always. Let's see what happens here. All right, how are we playing site? You're peeking into the dart without a flash. If any time the enemies start using util to retake, for example, a Sova dart, that's when you want to start using your utility to counter their entry. So right there, you should be throwing your flash as you peek so that the enemies that are pushing into CT will be blinded when the smoke goes down. All right, we're flashing middle and fighting it. Let's see how this goes. Nothing happens. Okay. Now, what happened the last time you guys went B? Is there a trip in front sight? Nope. Okay. But we didn't even check for it. I guess Yoru checked for it. Alright, now that the bomb's down, you need to not be on the site anymore. Playing on B site is like the absolute worst place you can play. I hate playing on B site after planning. It puts you in a really, really shitty spot. And it does not allow you to, hold less angles. You want to be holding, as little angles as possible, and you don't want to have to constantly move around the site. Right here, you're setting yourself up in a bad position, mainly because you have to peek so far to actually get to the bomb. So you should be playing on the opposite side here, so this side is much better, mainly because you don't have to peek this far to actually get onto the bomb. No, it is not wise to take B on an eco round for the enemy. Personally, I absolutely despise taking B site. It's scary. I don't ever like going B on this map. Good job breaking the dart. There's no real need to get up on this. So you're not really taking much space on attack ever. What you need to be doing here is, if your Omen is planting, look at your teammate's setup. Your Yoru has C flank or C link. The only thing that's open is A link, okay? And bottom middle. So you're not actually watching any useful angles here. You should be holding bottom middle where your teammate gets killed from. Because they've flanked almost every single round, you aren't used to, you are not realizing that they're going to constantly keep flanking, especially if you guys don't watch it. And right there, they were able to flank and kill you guys and win the round. It's not the worst smoke. I mean, it could be better. But it was mainly your fault because you could have been watching the mid flank there. Look at this. You're not going up first. Like, you can just run up here. You can just run up behind the Viper wall and then flash through it. But you're just sitting back. Then your Omen flashes you. So, right here, you're playing very scared, and you don't really have a plan for what you want to do. Like your Yoru is in backside. Okay, so your Yoru is in backside, and the time that he spends back here fighting the Sage who's on top of the wall, and then you go in, but you wait. You wait to go in. You don't go through the Reyna wall. You threw your flash in, and then it got broken, and then you went in, and then you died. You should have thrown a second flash. So you don't want your flash to be broken as you go in. You're throwing your flashes way too early here. So when you throw your flash in, and then you do this, and you wait for them to break it before you go in with it, like you paused here for so long, and you didn't allow your teammates to push in behind you either. So you need more confidence going into the site and actually pushing in with your util and just holding W instead of like taking stuttering and slowing down. Right here, you guys should flash long probably. Yeah, you should be flashing long here because if you don't, then you're going to get opt eventually. All right, now you flash on site. All right, and you don't push with it. Unfortunate. And again, you're peeking again without your flash up. Like your flash goes down and then you're on site. You need to be using your flashes to actually take the space that you're getting. So like, look at this, look at this, look at this. Jet already cleared the right side. Why are you now clearing the right side? Jet already cleared that. There's no reason for you to do this. Don't peek mid with the bomb. You see how long it takes you to peek with your flash? 1, 2, and the flash is gone before you peek. You're very, very slow with your peeks and your flashes. It needs to be like you flash and then you immediately swing with it. And again, this round, they've flanked mid again from A site. So right here, you went into a crouch spray and you weren't actually aiming at him from the start. And you need to, instead of crouch spraying, just spray a little bit, move, then spray some more. It's good that you're pre-aiming the dart, but your teammates can do that for you. Alright, you know that there's one in short. Get up on a site, use that flash, 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 use that flash. Alright, you're gonna flash the Viper and kill her, right? This is an okay position. Alright. GG's.